It's buffering. Oh my God, we're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Ooh.
I'm live here with the one and only Merrie.
Hi.
Merrie.
Here I am.
You don't need to know the last name.
They can know.
Something Jewish. We'll just go with that.
Sure.
You're
We'll say
Jewish
that.
by you're Jewish by injection.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Always.
You don't need
always
to be
so.
like born from someone Jewish.
No, oh my God, that's a giant pineapple.
That's my 64-ounce pineapple.
That's a big
Where's my
pineapple.
camera? There it is.
What's in there?
It's just water. I don't really drink soda or anything.
I got that too.
There you go. I got this as a gift to myself when I was having a surgery a few years ago, so I wouldn't have to keep getting up to refill anything.
Was it the same surgery that I should have?
No, it was a different one, which we can talk about if you want to. I don't mind. But yeah, I got my awesome pineapple. I got these cool pants that I happen to be wearing right now that have a cat.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Where am
those.
I? Everything's like backwards on this camera. So,
Wow.
cat in space eating pizza and a taco. You know how it goes. Like
Cats eat and tacos.
yeah.
They'll
Yes.
eat me. If unlike a dog, if I drop dead, the cats will eat me, and the dog would go find help.
I think my cats would be sad. Actually, I have one in the bedroom right now.
Will they be sad? The cat would be
You can kind of
sad.
see him.
I do.
His,
Is that a ginger cat to match the hair?
it is, there's a lot of gingers in his apartment. Mostly me and him. The other one
And the
is
walls.
like a
The
lighter.
kind of match
The wall, everything's very orange.
It is. Does it have a citrusy smell?
It could. Where am I? This camera is difficult. There is an oil diffuser right here. So we could technically put a citrusy scent into it and make the entire room smell like oranges.
That's the problem with podcasts or any kind of visual show.
Yeah.
Is that you can't put a scent out there for us to smell. I mean, you could do all kind. You could show us a picture. We could see that. You could dance. You can't present an odor to us. So
No, you can imagine what an orange smells like within an orange room.
yeah, I'm totally
Right,
picking up
like,
the citrusy scent.
Just picture like a lot of orange everywhere, including my hair and my cat's hair. And think of oranges, and then that's me. Here I am.
What about the rest of your house? Is it multicolored?
Yes. So the bed, if you'll notice, is this olive green color, and then that color is on the walls in the living room and dining room. And then some of the rooms, like the hallway and the kitchen, are actually yellow. So I have like an orange, yellow, green color spectrum happening.
You're making a rainbow in California.
A little bit, yeah. Like a warm tone. I consider that green warm, even though green's technically a cool toned color. But it's like a very yellowy green. But I like bright, bold, warm, happy colors. And especially after I got hit by a car and broke my foot, once I was able to walk around again and start climbing ladders and whatnot is when I'm like,
right.
We're gonna redo everything. Like
you were lucky to be alive.
Dude, like this past couple years are a mess. But
you were on a bike when you got hit, right?
I was on a motorcycle because I'm a dum-dum. But I miss it. I see all these other motorcyclists riding by and I'm like, I miss you. Like I get real bummed out. I had a motorcycle because I'm awesome. Actually, it was a red and white look. So it was kind of like if you took Pee-wee's bicycle and made it into like a cafe racer motorcycle. It was fun. But yeah, I was like on my street, crossing the big main road to get to my block. Like literally just had to cross one street And that's when the car driver went through a red light into the front of my bike. So I was attentive enough to see that she wasn't slowing down, so I tried to, which had her hit the front of my motorcycle and not me directly.
My God, I'm glad you
Um,
noticed.
yes, if I had not been paying attention, she would have just like mowed me down. And then I'd probably not be here. So thank God I was watching. Um, but it sucked because that's how my foot broke. It kind of, I'm going to use hand motions here, but it hit the front of my motorcycle and like kind of
We
twisted
don't
me to the
use hand
side.
motions on the show. I'm sorry. We
I'm
don't use
showing you, they can use their imagination.
yeah.
But it hit the front and I kind of got like swung into the side of the car, and that's how my foot broke. It got a little crushed in between the bike and the car.
Oh my God, it sounds
I don't really
painful.
know what happened after that, but the one of the witness reports said that I went flying, which I'm a little bummed there's no video. I would like to see me in takeoff.
Yeah, seriously. So your foot got crushed and then you flew? Or you flew and then
Yeah,
your
like
foot got
my
crushed?
foot got crushed, and I just kind of remember going like,
Sounds like
and
your foot
it
should have been left behind if that were the case.
well, it stayed attached, thank gosh.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
thing.
that's good.
But you don't look
But
like you just had a car accident. You've definitely
well, it
recovered
was
okay.
like 3 years ago at this point.
And then
So
after
I'm
that, you developed what I have.
about 3 months later, yeah.
Did it have
So
anything to do with the car accident?
the neurosurgeon said it had nothing to do with the car accident. I assumed it did because the way I fell, I kind of like belly flopped straight to the ground. And I remember on the way down, I was like looking at the inside of my helmet, which was a full face helmet, thinking like, oh, well, they said that this is unshatterable.
So you
Let's find
actually thought
out.
that in midair.
Yeah, I was like, well, they said it won't break. Like, I'll know in a second, I guess. But yeah, the whole ordeal was like 3 seconds long. Like, I really had to kind of reimagine it on repeat for like a week straight to be like, what the fuck happened here? Before I was like, oh, that makes the most sense. So I might even be honest about it, like not like on purpose, but this is how it makes sense to me. So I hit the front of my bike, I hit the side of her car, I like did a flip in the air and like landed on my face. So thankfully I had a full face helmet on. Otherwise, like this would be gone.
This is like a public service announcement. Always wear
Right.
your helmet. Yes.
Yes, wear a helmet, wear a full face helmet. I took classes before I got my bike, and the jaw actually takes the most impact when you're hit. Uh, so definitely have to protect your jaw area because it's like a 17%, like just for that, and everything else is more like 8% or so here and there. So,
Holy crap.
well,
I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad too.
Your boyfriend must have been horrified.
He was at a gym about half a mile up the street. And the way it happened, it was like right in front of a Starbucks, and it was August. So everyone's sitting outside. Like, I had this huge audience seeing me get hit by a car, and then I had like what's it called when the car racers? They have like a team that just comes out to like change out the tires and stuff. Like I had like
a crew. You had a crew team.
Yeah, I had a crew come out. Like one person was like, who do you want me to call? I'll call them right away. Another person's calling 911 for me. Another person's like, are you okay? Can you breathe? Can you speak? Like, what's your name? What do we do? Kind of thing. And then the woman who hit me appeared at some point in there, but I think she didn't show up to like talk to me until the ambulance dudes were kind of trying to help me up and take me away. But yeah, my boyfriend was up the street about half a mile away at the gym when he got a call from this random British guy who's like, I'm with Merrie. She's okay. My boyfriend's like, what? Like, what does that mean? Who are you? And then he explained the situation.
That's horrifying.
No. So he's like, oh shit, I gotta go. And he like took off from the gym. He like stole the gym towel in the process. He like got winded from running, even though he runs daily.
Yeah, but he's panicking.
So he hopped on a bird scooter
A what?
on a bird scooter,
It's a
and
bird
was like,
scooter.
yeah, like a electric scooter to go.
Oh,
So he's like racing the ambulance at that point on a scooter.
that's
And I
so
think
romantic.
the towel that he stole from the gym fell off, and there's like a homeless guy like, "Hey man, you dropped your towel," and he's like, "Keep it."
That's a scene from a movie. That'd be great.
So yeah, that not something I wanted to live through, but and
Well, I'm
then
glad you
because I
did live
was on
through
my
it.
street, I had to take an ambulance. I couldn't walk, my foot was broken, which we didn't know officially at the time. I knew my foot hurt, and I didn't want to do anything to make it worse, so I just was off of it. But I had to watch my apartment building go by through the back of the ambulance windows, which is just like,
Oh,
goodbye, my love. Like, shit, that sucks. And then I did not get home until about 1 in the morning because the emergency room
well, look, you made it
was
home.
taking
At
its
least you
time.
got home.
Yeah, I made it home. The emergency room was its own weird, surreal experience. They didn't have any actual rooms to put me into. So they're like, hey, here's a gurney in the hallway. Like, okay, thank you. Let me just sit here in the hallway while you wheel cadavers past me.
Well, I mean, it's feng shui. It's better energy to keep you in that.
Yes. I'm absorbing what's left of these dead people being
Uh,
wheeled by.
my friend Justin
So,
Rizzo says hello, you
who's
crazy fan.
Justin? Oh
Justin
my
is my
God.
usual co-host and producer
Oh,
and
hi,
friend.
Justin.
He's an opera singer.
Oh, that's fancy.
It is, and he
It
fronts a
is
community
fancy.
band.
Nice.
And he just texted me before saying he said, I think I submitted my America's Got Talent audition to that girl.
Oh, he probably did actually. I worked on that show a couple of years in a row. Um,
Did you
Not my
actually get to
favorite.
meet people? Not your favorite?
No, well,
I hate
for
that show. I
casting,
really hate that show. Oh, I'm not allowed to
it's
say
not a
this.
show I want to watch at any point. Hi, Justin. It's not a show that I care to watch in general, like that type of show.
Yeah, I'm
Not
not
for
into that.
me, but it does have an average of like 12 million viewers or something. So even if only 1% of those viewers are like, I love this person, I want to buy their album, their merchandise, I want to go see them perform, whatever, like that's still 120,000 people, you know?
Oh, it's
So, like,
great publicity for people. It's so
yeah,
good.
but a lot of they want to keep outdoing themselves every year, and there's only so much you can do before it becomes like
Oh my god, how
dangerous.
contrived is it though? Like every single person who might look average, who starts belting out this amazing voice, they all go, I've never heard such a voice out of a face like that ever. Meanwhile, they do it like every freaking episode from every season. It drives me crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I was just on the casting team, but my team, the casting split into two. So one team that I was on was more outreach based. So it's literally like you have a quota of 100 phone calls a day that you have to make within like a 90-mile radius of each audition city, if not farther, in case there's like nothing else out there. It's like, well, maybe if it's in Boston, we might have to reach out to people in Maine just because they can do the drive in.
How do you cold call people looking for auditions?
What's more businesses? So like I would call all of the comedy clubs in that region,
That's right. You did
or
reach
like
out to me. You totally reached out to me.
I probably did, yeah. So we're calling comedy clubs, we're calling schools, anywhere there might be performers happening.
You're like,
Um,
I got a lead on some magician in Maine.
Maybe, but then the idea is that the executives want everyone in that area to know that auditions are happening. If they go to like some random gas station and the person there doesn't know, like we didn't do our jobs well. So once we get rid of all of like the performance places that are more obvious, it's like, well, we're still on the city doing phone calls for the next 3 weeks. Like, time to start calling restaurants or like random stuff, like literally 100
So
phone calls a day.
you would have to call. Do you have anybody there who has a talent that wants to try out for America's Got Talent?
Kind of, just kind of like, hey, I'm calling from American Idol, or I did work on American Idol, but America's Got Talent. We have auditions coming up. I want to send you some info. Can I get an email address? Basically. Um, Sometimes they might be like, we don't have email. Can you fax us? I'm like, who uses a fax machine? That's dumb. Like, what year are we in? What the heck?
Pages.
But and then we have to do it all over again for the next city. So it kept me busy as a freelancer for a good 4 months, 5 months, something like that. Meanwhile, the other side of the casting is more specific in what they're looking for. So I might call a dance studio just to be like, hey, we have auditions. I want to send you info. We want to see all your best people. Whereas the other team might be like, they might call the exact same dance studio and they're like, hey, like we saw Bob and Tina dancing on YouTube from your studio. We want them to audition. So it's a little different. They're not doing outreach just to blanket the entire area. They want specific acts that they found online.
Would you go
So
back
there's
to do something like that?
I kind of am trying to get away from casting in general. Like a lot of the people on the casting teams that I've worked with over the years are very outgoing, very loud, very chatty and friendly. And like, I'm not saying I'm not friendly, but like I don't have that big energy all day long. Like you might get it for a few minutes at a time and that's it. And then I'm like exhausted. So it's not a good fit for me. Like I can power through and make 100 phone calls by lunch and then take my break. And then for the rest of the day, like keeping up with emails and finding my next 100 for the next day. But it's exhausting,
But
to be
you
honest with
also worked on a
you.
really cool show though, Attack of the Show.
I did work on Attack of the Show. I was
You weren't
at
casting it.
G4. I wasn't casting. I was a production assistant. I was at G4 for roughly 3 years, if you include freelance, before they officially hired me.
I heard a rumor they're bringing it back.
They are. I
That's
don't know what's
awesome.
going on with that. I'm trying to weasel my way back into it.
Why not?
But it's not
great.
working out well yet. So, but I mean, the offices aren't open yet. LA is going back into lockdown. So
Again. Oh my
yeah,
God. Don't even get me started.
so just sitting at home in my weird sweatpants with my cats even longer because the last 3 years haven't been long enough for me. So
I know you were in lockdown long before everybody else was. You
right,
were
that's why I have all these bright, happy colors in my home.
makes
Like
sense.
the bedroom used to be beige, 100% beige, except for the wood floor. Like the walls and the trim and the ceiling were all the exact same color, and it was disgusting after a while. Like having a broken foot is depressing, and it's like I'm looking at these colors that are gross and making me more mad, and I can't do anything about it because I can't even walk. Like so, when I could walk, I'm like, I am painting. I don't care that we're not allowed to. Like it's time. So everything's very bright and happy, and like I upgraded to a bigger bed. We only had a full size bed, which and we upgraded from like a love seat couch to like this big curvy orange velvet masterpiece of a couch. So at least like if I'm
you
in
have your space.
right, if I'm in a situation where I'm stuck at home all day, at least I'm more comfortable and like more cheerful, which worked out really well for COVID lockdown. So
That's good. I do
it's
miss
done its job.
not that I want lockdown to happen again, but I do miss the obligation of not having to go out. It was kind of
Yeah,
nice.
I've gone out a few times. I went out for my birthday for like brunch and drinks at a bar that just opened up that's more outdoors. And maybe a couple times since, but I'm not like raring to go out and party so much. Like I'm like, Oh no, Justin does not like the full bed life.
Well, he's Justin is newly single after 9 years, so
Oh, that's a long time.
that is. We've got a queen size, which I thought was nice and
Yeah,
spacious. So we stayed at a hotel on our honeymoon with a king size,
yeah.
but that was magnificent. That was too much space.
But then you can both like starfish and like just spread out.
You
And
meet snow angels. Actually, it was winter. I got snow. I brought it in. I said, "Let's just get
you
snow angels in
cover,
bed." It was just great.
just cover the bed in snow. It's fine.
You know what we did? You and me. That was so much. You were my favorite hotel roommate at those conventions.
Oh, we got in trouble though.
Well, we were
Or we
throwing
were
things out
threatened a
the
little bit.
window.
We were throwing
We weren't
shower
exactly
caps.
innocent because when you throw one of those plastic shower caps out the window, it looks like a jellyfish in midair.
It
We were like, let's freak
does.
people out. I don't know what we were on, thinking people were going to honestly believe they were jellyfish floating down.
But they can be
But
confused for a moment. That's always
yeah,
fun.
yeah, that is just like putting googly eyes on things is a great idea. But
Yes.
we'll leave that alone. Starfishing is the best. Justin, have you? That sounds like a sexual thing, Justin. I sit here waiting for an answer. Like he's just gonna. It's gonna hear his booming voice over
Oh no.
Mary. I don't know if
Yes.
you noticed. I'm doing the facial twitch. It's
It's
happening.
okay. I've been
I
there.
know. I know you've been there. This is what I wanted to talk to you about.
I did it for 2 years, man. It was awful.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
need
for
to
you
get
right
these.
now.
I have my first appointment with a neurologist finally,
Oh,
August
good.
16th.
Okay.
And
That's getting the ball rolling in the right direction.
what did your neurologist tell you when you went to the neurologist?
Um, when I went, he had me get an MRI. So it was kind of like, this is what we think it is, but we have to do an MRI to rule out anything else. So they're checking for like MS lesions and tumors and stuff. They didn't see the compression. And for anyone listening, the issue is that there's an artery at the brainstem that's kind of laying into the facial nerve in charge of movement. It's similar to trigeminal neuralgia, but that one's an artery laying into the sensory nerve. So for hemifacial spasms, you just get uncontrollable spasms all day long. Whereas with trigeminal neuralgia, it's just the worst pain imaginable from what I've heard. Like it's been described as like a 20 out of 10. Like, and its nickname is the suicide disease because people who have it are just so overwhelmed by how much it hurts they can't
So I'm
hang.
kind of grateful that I don't have
So
the trigeminal
yes,
neuralgia or
right.
whatever it's
No
called.
trigeminal neuralgia for you. So you
Geminal,
don't have
trigeminal
pain. Yeah,
neuralgia.
not genital.
Okay.
So, but the surgery to fix it's the exact same. It's just a different nerve that's being separated from the artery. So they go in there and they take a little piece of Teflon, like the size of a pea, and my doctor, for my neurosurgeon, not neurologist, glued it to the artery, so it will hopefully not come loose, and just permanently has like a little cushion between the artery and the nerve. So any uh, pressure from your heart beating will just kind of go into that Teflon and not the nerve itself. So it's intense,
Do you
but
know how it started for you? Was it nerves?
it started, well, the accident with the motorcycle was in mid-August, and the twitching started on Thanksgiving a few months later. So like a little over 3 months. And it
Were you
started
doing
as a,
anything that made you anxious? Like, were you with the in-laws?
no,
All right.
no, because I was still healing from I was like in physical therapy for my foot. I wasn't doing much at all. I was relaxing, if anything. And it was like a thumping in my ear. And I'm like, what is that? Like, do I have a weird ear infection? Like, what's happening here? And it took a while to see a doctor. I had to wait until the following week, so a good 4 days from Thanksgiving before I can even call to make an appointment. And then because it's around the holidays, like it's gonna be a few weeks to see the doctor. I'm like, I need it now. Like, I don't know what this is. Um, So I was seeing nurse practitioners instead, but they don't know what it is. They're like, oh, I think it's TMJ. Just wear a mouth guard at night. Like, no, like that's not at all what this is. But thank you for guessing.
Wear a
But it
mouth
took a
guard.
couple
Yeah,
visits to the general doctor, nurse practitioners, for them to give me the referral for neurologist. And it took 3 months, 3.5 months to see the neurologist because he's just that cool of a guy, I guess. And then I get the MRI, and he's like, "Oh, we don't see anything. So, like, here are your options." So he gave me Clonopin, which was not good.
was that?
Um,
I had a blood pressure medicine my doctor just gave me to try. I took it one day, it just knocked me out, rendered me unconscious for the
what if you
entire
take
day.
it before bed, though? Would that help?
That that's the other option, but I don't really have high blood pressure. He just wanted me to try it to see if it would work.
Yeah.
But I got a little
I don't
nervous
think it
taking
will,
blood.
though.
Yeah, I got a little nervous taking that, so I decided against it.
Yeah, the Klonopin, I was taking it for 2 days. I was still painting in the apartment. I was in the dining room making it green at that point. And like my eyes got so watery out of nowhere that I couldn't see. Like it was like I was like underwater at that point. Um,
With a lot of
so I'm like,
algae because it was green.
maybe, yes. But I eventually was like, okay, like I can't see what I'm doing. Like I'm just gonna take a break for a minute and like sort this out. And then ended up just sobbing on the kitchen floor for 10 minutes. And then it was done and then I was fine. But it's like, I'm not even sad, really. Like, why am I crying? Uh, so he told me to stop taking it immediately. So I was like, cool, done. Um, so at that point, it's like, well, the only option really is Botox because they said I was not eligible for surgery. So I was getting Botox for a minute, and the first time was a nightmare because he put it in my cheek where the spasms were happening. So it was like kind of off to the side of my nose, which means I can't lift like the side of my lips here. And I think he put it underneath, so like I couldn't move my mouth on that side.
So it stopped the
Basically,
spasms, but you couldn't move
it
at
didn't
all.
stop the spasms at all because my eyes were still twitching. Like it maybe stopped my mouth from being pulled around because it's like a whole like wink motion.
Oh, that's horrible.
Um,
Was
but
there
then
was
like
there anything you could do, like if you were like when I play piano and get really into it, it doesn't happen. Or if I'm alone in the house and I'm just focused on just something, it doesn't always happen.
no,
It'll take
it just
minutes to come back.
always happened. Like I would say I was making it worse unknowingly at first because I was so like, what is happening to my face? I hate this. And
Yeah.
I would like smoke some marijuana because it's legal here. And like it would chill me out, but it would make the spasms worse. So for the first few months, it was just like nonstop all day long, where I'd get like 10 seconds of calm. And it's like, oh, I can breathe now. Okay, cool. And then it would start right back up again. So like that first few months were brutal. And it kind of calmed down over the years, but eventually I'm just like, I can't live with this. Like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't even notice it, which to me is like, how do you not notice this?
Yeah, I
Like,
get that from people too. I think they're just
don't
being
lie
polite.
to me, right? Like, this is so obviously like in your face, like
There's
in
people who
my
say I
face.
didn't notice. There's people who say I didn't notice, and there's people who say, "What's wrong? Are you all right? Do you have a migraine? What's
No one
happening?"
was asking you what's wrong. They're just like, oh, like, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, dude, this is keeping me from sleeping at night, right? I can't fall asleep. I wake up because of it. So like lack of sleep alone is gonna like ruin the entire next day. Driving was terrifying because it would start out while I'm trying to pay attention to the road.
Yes.
And then I'm
Oh,
like,
it's awful.
like, oh, it's like I'm gonna drive into a tree at any
It was so
moment.
nice to actually talk to somebody who's experienced it.
Yeah, like no one really gets it. Like I joined Facebook groups for it, and that was the most helpful thing because a lot of people were saying like I went to a neurologist and they said that I was not eligible for surgery, like the exact same thing that happened to me.
I wonder if I'm
So
gonna get that.
You probably will. So I would say if they don't see a compression, to have the MRI images forward to a neurosurgeon and have a second opinion on it and just get it done right away. Because I was like, oh, well, I'm told I'm not eligible, so I guess I'm not, and just kind of accepted it and tried to go the Botox route. I never wanted Botox, but
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
it was my only option. It kind of helped, maybe, but not really. Um, like I wish I would have just had a second opinion immediately to a neurosurgeon and gotten it fixed. But I was also terrified. Like the brain surgery thing's no joke. Like that's scary.
Oh
But
yeah, I mean it's
like,
freaking brain surgery.
but I there's
Where
a
did they
list
go
in
in your
it.
back?
It's like behind my ear.
Camera
Can you
one,
see
can you
it?
get a close up on that?
I can try
I'm
to.
just kidding. Oh
These
wow.
am I in the right angle at all?
Hold on. Oh, camera two's got it. Camera two. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do see it.
So
I was just
I'm
making a joke about the cameras.
sorry. Um, but yeah, no, it was terrifying. I was like sobbing. I started taking antidepressants because I was completely freaked out and I like just felt so hopeless. Where I'm like, I'm stuck with this forever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I heard after the brain surgery, you start hearing crows.
What is it?
You start hearing crows randomly. Does that happen?
Well, that's just all the time.
Okay.
They live on the balcony.
Uh, Wait, you don't have birds out in LA or insects, right? No insects, no birds. It's
All
totally
of
safe.
them. They're all in my building's courtyard all the time.
Oh, that's right. You have an infestation.
Not so much. Like I'm battling moths and caterpillars on my balcony plants, which is a pain in the ass because caterpillars are so well camouflaged. They're like the perfect green to match the plant. And it's like you don't really notice it until you see that there's like holes in the leaves that they're eating. But then you still have to find them because they'll take little bites and they'll go somewhere else in the plant. And then it's like,
They're so cute though. They're such cute little fellas, and they smoke weed.
no.
I've seen them smoke weed in cartoons.
Yes, but the ones on my balcony are ruining my plants. So my one of my tomato plants right now has holes in one of the leaves. So I was out there yesterday, like peering into the plant, like, where are you, you little piece of shit? Like, and I don't kill them. I feel bad, but I do
Next
throw
time,
them off the edge of the balcony.
it's
And
okay. They'll survive unless a bird swoops down and eats them
well,
away.
there is a
They have
dove
no
nest out
skeleton.
there. So like, if the doves get to
You're
it,
feeding. There you go. You're
right.
doing
But I'm
circle
not
of
killing
life.
it myself. I'm just kind of like, bye,
Next
greeting my
time,
plant.
you go looking into your plant, can you set up your camera, your phone camera, on the other side so you can see?
I can try to. I
That
can't
would be
promise anything, but I will try.
that would be magical. I would love that. And you have moths eating your clothes too.
Right, well, I got the
It would be
moth trap, so it's like a sticky trap, but I should probably change them. There's like
oh
40 moths in one trap in the living room. Like, it's gross.
in the living room.
Yeah, they're
Well, you
like,
can tell people it's art.
yeah, well, it's behind the TV technically, so it's like in the fireplace mantle
You
area.
probably got used to it by now. Names for all the moths.
No, I don't want them in the apartment. But I guess they're in other people's apartments in the building too, so maybe I do have an infestation of moths. But maybe they're learning now that they see like the moth graveyard on the fireplace mantle. Like,
Yeah, like
maybe not
yeah,
here.
like these people are sick. Look at that, they're sick. What
Get
a,
out of my house. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't want to
yeah,
kill them, but I don't want them
it's
eating
an
holes into
unspoken
my
rule.
stuff.
I know you're supposed to kill the spotted lanternflies. Have you heard
You're
of
saying
them?
that.
Yeah. I have one land on me, and he was so nice. I couldn't bring myself to kill him. He looked at me like this,
It's like
and
flashing his
like
eyelashes at you.
flashing his eyelashes, and I let him go, but he crawled in a little hole in the side of the screen door, and the cats got to him.
Well,
They looked at me and said,
That's how
"Daddy,
nature works, right?
they're
Well,
supposed
how
to
big is
die."
it though? Like its body's is like an inch
Um,
long.
it's about, I would say they're about 2 inches. They're a pretty good sized moth or fly, or
I've seen
the,
some out here where like the
the,
body of the moth
like
is like the size of my thumb, and
yeah,
then they
well, they're
have
like
like
black. They're black, but the wings open up and they're red and red. I can't speak.
oh,
Red with black dots.
I've not
Really
seen
beautiful.
those.
They're gorgeous.
Some
I'm
of
gonna
the
make a
moths are
pattern.
pretty, like the ones that are like really big and like furry looking. They're kind of cute. And there's some that look like cotton candy that I've seen online that are like pink and yellow. Where I'm like, oh, bless
I've
you.
seen those.
What is it?
I've seen those.
I haven't
In
seen one in person, but I kind of
Yeah,
want
not in
to.
person. I know. There's Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia has a butterfly exhibit,
Ooh.
and I thought it was really cool at first until I just got a look at the centerpiece of the butterfly, and they just look like giant bugs with colorful wings, and it started to
Their
speak.
wings are beautiful, but then it's like, but that's
The
still a
wings are
bug.
beautiful, but yeah, the center of them, not so much.
Mm.
Like it looks like a maggot with wings.
My balcony last year when I became a balcony farmer in lockdown, I was trying to grow collard greens and they kept attracting this one specific moth. It's just white. There's nothing special about it. But like it was like laughing at me. Like every time I was like, I see the moth out there, I'm going out to fight it. And I would try to like spray it directly, like get off my plant. Like I know you're leaving eggs everywhere. I had to go in and like
He
wipe all
sits
the
there.
eggs away. And then he like just floated in the air, just like, nah, like I'm here now. What are you gonna do about it? Like mocking me.
He was.
So
They mock you.
yeah, so I've not had as much of an issue because I didn't grow the collard greens this year.
Do you have those spider crickets looking things? I don't think
No.
that's not the technical term, but they look like
Are you sure?
spider. I'm not sure, but they look like combo spider crickets, and they're usually in
I'm
basements.
uncomfortable with that idea.
Well, you're like, oh, look at that spider, but then it hops at you, like a cricket does.
No, no, thank
Yeah,
you.
but apparently they're harmless and they eat mold. But my wife still doesn't want them in the basement, so I keep them out.
Do you have centipedes?
Go fish. No, I do have centipedes. Yes.
Centipedes are
It sounds like I'm playing a card game.
terrifying.
Do you have centipedes? Do you have Japanese dung beetles?
Nope. Go fish. No, we don't have centipedes in Southern California, which is nice because they are terrifying. Like they have
Oh,
too many legs. I can't. They can jump through. Ugh, what is he talking about?
the
I
spider
hate it.
crickets. The spider crickets can jump through and love long hair.
No, I will shave my head. Actually, that reminds me. When I was hit by a car, I had really long hair, like down to my waist again. And then when my foot was broken, I couldn't stand up to shower and wash it. I had to like sit on this rickety plastic stool and like kind of try to flip my head upside down and like scrub, but then it's like touching the floor in the shower and not good. So when I could actually drive again, once I was done with the walking boot, I took myself to a really nice salon that looked like it was maybe more like punk rockish, perhaps, which is similar to the salon I went to when I lived in Michigan. And that stylist butchered my hair. And I remember like I was emailing them at first, like, hey, like I'm gonna get a drastic haircut. I need someone who's good with like my specific type of hair and like cutting that much off. And they're like, oh, this girl's great. You'll love her. And I was like, okay, cool. And she was not great. Like I was actually trying to get the haircut I used to have when I was 23 and I was like young and cute. I'm like, I want that hair again. And then she was like, okay, cool. Like, how far below the jaw do you want it to be? And I told her a couple inches. And then she cut it like right at the jaw. And like everything was even shorter than it was supposed to be in the back. And I'm like, like,
But it grows
I'm
back.
happy.
It all grows back,
It grows back. Like I
and it looks
just
great
got it.
now.
I just got a trim 2 weeks ago.
It looks
Two
like it's
weekends.
freshly washed.
It is freshly washed. It's so clean. But yeah, I had a COVID haircut for most of last year that I gave myself. And then when they shaved part of my hair for the surgery for my brain, like they took out what was the longest piece, and then this side was suddenly like a half inch shorter than this side. So I'm like, well, this doesn't work this way. And this looks dumb. So I kind of had that evened out. And like I gave myself bangs at one point during lockdown.
Did you have to learn?
Did I what?
Did you cut hair? Or did you have to learn?
I've always cut my hair. You've seen me cut my hair at a convention at Monster Mania.
Oh, you did cut your own hair.
I was like, my bangs are stabbing me in the eyes. I'm just going to cut them real quick. And then someone was like, oh, I like your bangs. And then we're like, oh, I just did it just now.
I do remember that. Oh yeah, we had Jonathan Roberts commented, "I'll break your kneecaps for 20." Oh, the hairdresser. Oh wow, that's really nice.
She doesn't deserve that, but I don't want to go back to her again. But I've been going to the same stylist who fixed me after that. So it's almost more like a pixie cut, but it's like this is all I can do. So like literally like hit by a car, foot's broken, haircut, garbage. Face starts twitching. This is all within 3 months. Just like, just kill me now. I'm done. I hate this. So, but it's all fixed. Everything's good now.
You came through. You had the brain work
I came through. Yes. I had someone cut a hole into the side of my head and put their finger in my brain. Just like wiggle it around a little bit. I fixed it. We're all good now.
Oh my God. I think you're one of the few people I know who actually went through with the brain surgery. And I'm curious.
I didn't really feel like I had much of a choice. I did see a different neurosurgeon that was more with the hospital family that I try to stick with out here. And I don't think he knew what he was talking about, because he looked at my MRI images and he's like, well, I guess I can kind of see there's a little bit of progression maybe here, but like we should do another MRI, and like otherwise we can do exploratory surgery. And I'm like, hold up. Like, you can't even read an MRI images, and like you want to cut a hole in my head and start fussing around, exploring my brain. Yeah, like no. So I had it sent to a different hospital entirely. The Facebook group for hemifacial spasms had a list of doctors that are vetted. They've already done the surgery. It's successful for them. Like, they're good. And I sent that doctor that I found my MRI images, and he's like, oh yeah, it's right here. Like, I don't know why no one else can find it. Like, he's like laughing that everyone's like having such a hard time. And he's just like, it's right here, obviously. And then we did the surgery about 5.5 weeks after. What is it?
Pittsburgh?
No, he was out here in LA. But the one in Pittsburgh's like the most experienced. Like, everyone seems to love him for some reason. So I would say him, because he's not that far from you. Like 5 hours, 4 hours.
I did promise Laura I'd see a neurologist first before I jump right into brain surgery.
Okay, that's fair.
That seems a bit drastic. I said, all right.
It is, but it's like, it's the only way to fix it, unfortunately. Like, I tried so many things. Like, I was seeing an acupuncturist. I started seeing a chiropractor. Like, what can I possibly do to make this stop? Because it's driving me bonkers. And
make social
surgery. I didn't want to talk to anybody, because any speaking or like any use of my facial muscles at all was going to start the twitching up again. So that was very unpleasant. And then especially that first Botox round where my face was half paralyzed on that side, and I'm like trying to drink water and like it's dribbling out the side of my mouth, or like I had to like eat sideways, like at a diagonal when I was eating anything, because I couldn't open my mouth on the left side where the spasms were. And then I was still twitching the whole time anyway. So I'm like, this is awful. Like, I look like the Toxic Avenger. I can't eat my food.
Oh wait, another comment, guys. I'm a suffering addict. I was addicted. Oh my god. I love that.
I'm so
Good for
proud
you,
of
girl.
him. Yeah,
That's
good for
amazing.
you.
Yeah, I love those jokes. If he's joking, if he really was a hokey pokey addict, good for you. You came so far. I got a Bonnie Tyler's voice on my GPS for my car. She's always telling me
Oh.
turn around.
Oh no.
Is that terrible?
Are you driving like too far so that it does it on purpose to tell you to turn around?
That was my attempt at a joke.
Oh, I thought you maybe did. I know that there was a Keith Morrison voice on Waze for a while.
There was a Cookie Monster voice on Waze. It said
I didn't
you.
do the cookie. I tried Keith Morrison, but then he made everything sound so like, ooh. Like, he's
Why
so
can't I think
everything's
of
so like
Keith Morrison?
spooky. What is it?
Who's Keith Morrison? I can't think of who that is.
He's from Dateline.
Oh, I'm thinking
But
music.
like every story from him on Dateline is like, like what happened next? But then he was like doing that same thing on Waze, where he's like, turn left here, or shall we? You're like, what?
Yeah, Cookie Monster used to say, "There is a police officer up ahead. Maybe he wants a cookie." This used to make me laugh. I just love that.
Oh no, I didn't do the Cookie Monster. I'm like, I'm 30 something. Why would I listen to Cookie Monster?
Because
Like
he's funny.
it would make more sense if I had a child, but I am not having any children. So I, I liked Keith Morrison, but
I'm
they
gonna have
took it
to.
away.
Yeah, they did take the voices off Waze, didn't they?
They did. It was like a limited time only. Where I'm like, well, I just got used to it, and now you're
Yeah.
taking him from
Now it's
me.
back to a
Rude. Although we do have
oh,
a Cookie Monster Godzilla toy somewhere in this room.
Cookie Monster Godzilla toy.
Yeah, it's Godzilla, but it's Cookie Monster.
Hey, what kind of street does it goes on?
I think
Dead
it's still in the
end.
box. I'm
Haha.
not gonna. Oh no.
Are you getting your toy?
Yeah, so it's still in the box. I can't open, but
Oh no, you can't take that out of the box.
no. But like the image like wraps around the entire box.
What does that have to do with Cookie Monster?
It's Cookie Monster,
That's
but it's also Godzilla.
it really
Now
is?
I'll go back on the shelf. Ah! I broke it.
You did
Broke
not.
it. I broke the shelf.
At least you didn't break the Cookie Monster.
No, I'll fix it. The books are just like fall. It was in the middle between books, and now they're like falling into it while I'm trying to put it back in place.
I like this.
What is that? Oh no. George Glass isn't real though. She's making it up.
Well, I know. That's why the section's empty.
Is it empty? It's hard to tell. There's like a. I
Oh
see
yeah,
that
there's
your
a
screen
glare.
on it. Oh,
Yeah,
nice. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah. That was mine.
I saw something online that was like Funko Pops for grown-ups, for old people, but it was like Precious Moments figurines.
What?
I'll
Oh,
find it on my phone. I saved that one because one of my friends is like obsessed
do you call
with
it
Funko
Cookiezilla?
Pops. What is it?
Do you call it Cookiezilla?
I think so. Yeah.
That's just a precious moment.
I know. It's old
They,
people
they
Funko
just
Pops.
old people Funko Pop. Oh, you're actually making a joke. Okay,
I didn't make it. I just found it and I laughed at it.
I'm sorry. All right, I get it now. It went over my head. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
It's okay. No harm done.
Maybe you're just not old enough to understand
Uh,
precious moments.
I will never be old enough to understand precious moments.
I don't think I would be either, to be honest.
But
Like,
they are Funko senior Funko Pop.
yes, they're probably
That
worth
sounds
about the same amount.
that sounds like a Spanish Funko Pop, man. Senior Funko Pop. Oh wait. Oh, John is an artist. That's gonna be his next painting. Is
What
Cookiezilla.
is cookie? Oh, nice. What
Um.
was? Hang on, I'll get the box one more time if he wants to. So now
Oh
I'm
my
dropping links
God.
everywhere.
What the hell
So
fell?
it's not a toy; it's an adult collectible. So don't you forget that. But it's Shin Cookiezilla by
Oh my
Gabriela
God. That is amazing.
Marquez.
Wait. Let me see the picture on the front. I didn't even notice that the first time around. Oh, that is cool.
That's what happens when you live with a nurse.
You mean you're talking about Gabe living with you, right?
Yes, but I didn't buy that one. The other side, actually, well, yeah, this side's the Toxic Avenger poster.
Is that Nightmare on Elm Street behind you?
Yeah, I was going to point to that one, and I got confused because everything's backwards on the screen, and it's confusing me.
Dream Warriors.
Yes,
Oh, that was my favorite.
good job. We got like a Japanese Poultrygeist poster. The one in the middle is like a romantic poster, actually. It's supposed to be like the night sky. I think it's like the nightsky.com is where I got it. And it's, you tell them like a location and a day, and it's like, this is what the night sky looks like on that day. But the location's for New York when I first started dating Gabe. So it's like, you might see a star. Like there, you can't really see stars there.
Oh,
So
it depends where you take the picture from, I guess.
I guess so. Maybe not so much in Chinatown,
Oh, Chinatown.
but if
Yeah.
you're like maybe out by the water where there's less light pollution, like
Is it behind your
perhaps.
head? Is your head blocking the night sky post?
Yeah, but then
Oh,
you see a reflection of like the boob light hanging from the ceiling.
the boob light. I saw a video of a
Good
little
old boob
baby.
lights, yeah.
I saw a video of a baby like being held, looking up like this, and they panned up, and there was a light like that sitting there.
No,
Well, I
these
mean, it's
lights are so
instinct.
ugly. I hate that one. But
It,
I'm in an apartment. Like, how much am I allowed to change out? You know?
yeah, right, exactly. There's only so much you could do.
Yeah. Like, I've
Well,
already painted when we're not supposed to be painting anything. So I'm already like pushing it. But it's just paint.
but,
Like,
oh, you weren't allowed to paint that orange?
no.
Oh, you've lived here for a long time, though, haven't
I've
you?
been in this apartment almost 10 years as of next month. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I'm sure.
legally after like 7 years, they're supposed to repaint anyway. So I just beat them to
You're
it.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah, like if we move out, I feel like we're going to be here forever because it's a rent stabilized vintage building. So in the 10 years roughly that we've been here, it's only gone up in rent like a few $100s.
It's a vintage building.
Meanwhile, what is it?
The vintage building.
It's from like 1930. It's like an Art
Nice.
Deco vintage building. It's beautiful.
Don't tell me the
Um,
address. We're live.
I'm not going to tell you the address,
Sorry.
but um, yeah, it needed some oomph. The colors they gave me were gross at
I love
first.
it. I mean, it totally matches your hair and your cat.
Yes. Well, now
And
it does. It used to be all
orange.
beige, like I was saying, and then like there's like books falling over here.
Oh my god.
The living room
Earthquake.
used to be like a sage green, but no one else could see that it was green except for me for some reason. So they're like, "Oh, the walls are gray." It's like it's green. Like it's such an ugly green that it just looks gray to normal people. Like I have really good color vision, I think.
You should. It could be one of those new things where you put it on Facebook and you say, "What color is my wall? Is it green or gray?" And everybody's going to comment. It'll be on the Today Show.
Yeah,
Merrie over in Los Angeles posted this picture, and everybody can't figure out what color it is. Is it
it's
green or is it
green.
gray?
It's totally green. And then like the dining room was the same green, but like a dark version of it. But the dining room, the windows face north. I'm like, why are you making the room that doesn't get direct sunlight the dark room? Right? Like this is backwards. This doesn't make sense. And in the hallway behind me was like such a dark brown that it was almost black. And there are no windows in the hallway. It's only like 4 by 3 feet. Like it's tiny. So any light coming in is from like surrounding rooms. And I'm like, I feel like I'm like in a void when I walk through the hallway. It's uncomfortable. But now it's bright, happy, like egg yolk
I think
yellow.
you did a great job with the
Thank
painting.
you. It's very colorful. I kind of warn people before I bring them up, like, hey, like, I'm gonna let you know now. It's kind of a rainbow up there, so just prepare yourselves.
Yeah,
So
it looks great. It's
thank you.
oh my god, I don't know why it just came to me. Speaking of Elm Street 3, didn't we have an encounter with Rodney Eastman from
I've
Elm
hung out
Street
with him a
3?
few times at
Yeah,
conventions. Yeah.
that's right.
There was one convention I went to in Dallas, and I didn't actually want to go to it, but my friend in Dallas was like guilting me because he was uh, helping the guy who was running the convention. So he was like working on it in some way. And he's like, I already told him you're going to be there. You can't just not come. And I'm like, I don't have any money. Like, how am I going to spend my last few $100 on a plane ticket to Dallas where I'm not going to make money there? And then he guilted me into it. So I went, and then I kind of am turning into like the convention waitress, like kind of going table to table, like, hey, Linnea Quigley, like, do you need anything? Can I bring you some water? Do you need any like snacks, whatever? Um, but Rodney Easton was at that one too. And I remember that we were hanging out at the bar talking, and I drank too much because I had a problem back then. And uh, it did not end well for me that night, which is a good story in itself. I was with a friend who was helping run the convention. We're like in some random other person's hotel room. And apparently I was so drunk that I was like biting his leg. I don't remember it at all. I was like blackout drunk. But eventually I'm like, oh, like I have to go vomit. I'll be right back. I went into the bathroom. There was already a guy on the toilet, like sleeping, like with his
Was
arm.
this in a hotel? Wait, I thought this was at the bar.
No, we started at the bar in the hotel and then went up to a friend's room to hang out.
Oh,
And then
you
like
were biting his leg in the room. You were hungry. They didn't have food. You were
I
like,
think I had like a veggie burger from Burger King at some point that night, but it wasn't enough food.
you needed meat.
And
You needed real meat, so you went for the
no,
leg.
no, but I went into the bathroom and I'm like, I have to vomit. There's a guy sleeping on the toilet. The garbage can has something in it already that I don't know what that is. Probably more vomit. And then I was like, I don't know. And I like threw up into the bathtub because I didn't
Oh
know what
my
to do.
god.
And then my friend came in and he's like, you have to clean that. You can't just leave puke in someone's bathtub. And I'm like, but I can't. Like, there's a guy sleeping on the toilet. How am I supposed to clean it?
God.
And I think we
I
tried to
don't
like
miss those
rinse it
conventions.
down, but it was like there was food involved. So it's not like a drain situation. So I had to literally like take a cup and like scoop it and then very carefully like dump it out next to this guy's face on the toilet and just very like very gingerly.
Couldn't you turn the shower on and wash it down the drain?
No, because it was like my burger came up. It was chunky.
Oh god. Oh, that's my fault for having you explain that in
If
your
it were
head.
just watery, then like fine, yeah. But it's like it was a little thicker than that. It needed a little more help.
Oddly enough, I do
So
miss those convention parties.
I don't really drink
Yeah.
anymore. Like I'm almost sober in a way. We went out to a bar the other night and I had one drink and then I was just drinking water for the rest of the night. I'm like, oh,
That's
I
why you look
couldn't.
so healthy.
Yeah, maybe. I
Maybe if I
couldn't.
got a giant pineapple too, I'd be more enticed to drink out of
Maybe
it.
if you had a 64-ounce pineapple to drink from, like,
It's almost as big as you. It's bigger than your head.
it kind of just about, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's like the same size as my head. But so I had to clean it up. I had to like dump my vomit out next to this guy's face sleeping
Oh,
on the toilet. But even then, like I
did you lose
couldn't.
him?
No, he was a big dude. I don't know who he was. He was just a guy.
What if
I didn't.
somebody had to use the bathroom? I mean,
I don't know.
all right. I'll let you
Hopefully
slide.
they had their own room, but yeah, like even to the next day, I was like, I'm still not well. Like it's just water coming up at this point, which actually kind of felt nice. But um, I was in like the green room where I was getting like the water bottles and snacks and stuff for the guests, just kind of like, I want to die, like, ugh. And the dad from Troll 2 was there, and he was like complaining about like people's hygiene at the convention and like their teeth being bad. And I'm just like, Troll 2, dad, shut up. Quit telling bad things about people. Like, what the hell?
Is he somebody notable, or is he just the dad from Troll 2?
He's just the dad from Troll 2. Although we did go to a documentary about Troll 2 at a theater out here, and actually part of it was filmed in that theater. So we were like, oh my God, like, is there a camera in here right now? So that was fun. But he's on video complaining about like their oral hygiene because he's a dentist.
Oh, he's a dentist.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is a dentist by profession. I don't know how he got wrangled into being the dad on Troll 2, but he is just complaining about people's teeth not being perfect. So maybe not such a nice guy. I don't know. I was not social in that moment to say anything to
I
him.
don't think you would be. Yeah. Wow.
No.
That's a
But
great story to end on. I love
oh, we're
that.
done now. Oh,
Oh,
boo.
we don't have to be.
I got nothing else to do. I am playing a video game. My boyfriend hates it.
What video game are you playing?
It's called Stranded Deep. I think it came out in 2015, although it says 2019 on the screen. Either way, it's very clunky and janky, and like you're essentially stranded on a desert island, and you have to scavenge for things. You can go to different islands on like this inflatable raft from the plane that crashed that you were on, and that's about it. Like, there's not really much of a story. It's just kind of like,
What is the
how well
object?
can you do? I mean, eventually you can find an aircraft carrier with like an old janky plane that you have to repair. But like now I'm just
Who
seeing how much I can get done.
who
Just to,
invents a game like this? Like nothing
I don't
happens.
know. I mean, I turned it on the settings so that the animals out in the wild are passive because I was tired of being chased around by giant crabs that are like the size of an ottoman running at me and pinching me. And since I've done that, like I've done much better in the game because I can actually like build things on the island without being attacked. But in
So
the
you
actual game,
simplified the
what is it?
you totally simplified the game.
I mean, there's not much going on with it anyway. Like you're supposed to be fighting like the bosses, which are like a giant shark and a giant squid, and I think a giant eel. But
But
I
you
don't want
turned
to
them
deal.
passive.
I don't want to deal with that.
You just want to repair the plane and get home.
I just want to like make my little island vacation paradise, and then I can just check in and like hang out and watch the sunset and like stab a crab or something once in a
That
while.
sounds like it'd be a lot of fun on virtual reality,
Yeah, maybe.
a VR
Although I
headset.
have it on third person right now, and the way the characters walk is is very stiff. Like their backs are very like upright, and they're like this the whole time. So that's kind of funny in itself. It's when they start running, where it like just does it real fast, but their back is still like super upright and stiff. And like I don't know, I'm building a cool house. It doesn't let you decorate the house, which I'm like, why did I just build that? Like that was pointless. Um, I'm enjoying it. My boyfriend's making fun of me for it. And it's about normal for us.
I did that. The only game I really got hooked on like that was Resident Evil 4 because it was my first horror game and it scared the crap out of me.
I can't do horror games.
And well, it made me really anxious. And I
Yeah.
figured I watched some tutorials because I cheated, figured out how to solve it.
That's
Then
okay. I do that all the
I got
time.
unlimited firepower, so I just played to relieve stress to shoot everybody and make it all the way through to the end.
Nice. There you
So
go.
I
I
get it. I
can't.
get it.
The horror games freak me out. I can't do it.
They did because
Like,
there's like really stuff coming at you, even though it's in a
right.
game.
Like if I'm watching a horror movie, awesome. Like I can just sit
It's
back
in
and
a
relax
movie.
and I'm fine.
You get that
Right. But
rush of adrenaline. And you're watching it from a safe place. Then it's over and you're fine.
right. Like it's not that bad. But then playing the game, I'm like the whole time. Like
I know.
I can't hang. So I'm usually I like games that are more open world. I can go do whatever I want to. Like there's a story. If I choose to follow it, I can. If not, I can just go do whatever I want to. So now I have like a slew of games where I'm like, what setting do I want to go like run around in? So like, do I want to be like an 1890s outlaw? Do I want to be like a 1960s drugged out weirdo? Like I can
Wait, in
choose.
this game where you're on the island?
Well, no, on the island, that's just, do I want to go hang out on a desert island by myself
Oh,
for a
okay.
while? So I've got my open world games, and I'm like, yes, I accept these as my entertainment. These are all my games. And then I just choose what setting I feel like being in.
What game were you in the 1890s?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, I've not played that.
It's so good. The story made me cry.
Did you make everybody passive so you could just walk around and
I don't
just
think
be
that's a
behind
setting in
stars?
Red Dead.
Like,
But
we're not guys. We're not going to kill each other. I'm just going to get along.
no, but if you go
Not do
online, there are
anything
people
else.
who are like griefers that will just hunt you down because they see that you're another player and they're like just going after you for no reason. Or I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to enjoy like these beautiful open meadows and you're messing up my day. Like, what the crap? But then if you play like in the game mode, I started a second run through of it, but I'm kind of like chapter 2 forever. So I'm like chapter 1, you're in the mountains where it's all snowy and horrible. And then chapter 2, it becomes like, now you can do whatever you want. And then I'm just like, I gotta go, bye. And then I don't go back to the camp ever. Like one of the characters from the camp keeps finding me randomly, and he's like, "Hey Arthur, like we were worried about you. You should come back." And I'm like, "Bill, you can fuck right off. Like I am not interested." And then I just go on my way and enjoy the scenery because it's a really pretty game.
I love how all your most recent gossip involves video game characters
I
interacting
mean,
with
I've been
you.
stuck in the apartment for like 3 years. Like, that's all I got. Like, for a while, when Red Dead 2 and We Happy Few came out in 2018, was like right around the time of the accident. So, those both kept me busy for a few months. Like, especially Red Dead 2, it's a really long game. And then, like, after that, I was painting and dealing with my face twitching and whatnot. But I'll go back into them occasionally.
Merrie, thank you so
Yes.
much for spending the time, and I want to have you back on stream with
Jason.
Judah,
Okay. We
and
shall.
we shall
We shall.
perhaps perhaps in a few days.
Okay. I am walking a friend's dog, and I may or may not be putting googly eyes around their home while they're not
I have
there.
no idea what you're talking about.
I said I might not be. I don't know.
You
It
might
might be
not be.
someone
You
else.
might be. The
None have been discovered yet that I am
googly eyed
aware of.
bandit have not been discovered yet.
You never know when you need some googly eyes. So I just have them in my purse at all times.
Where is the weirdest or where's the weirdest place you ever put? Where's the ever? I'm sorry. Where's the weirdest place you've ever seen somebody put a googly eye?
I don't know. Like I've been putting them on my friends' photo frames, and I put some on my robo vacuum at home.
That was my favorite picture. Was that your robo
So
vacuum?
of Lenny with his eyeballs. He wanted the oval shaped eyes. He told me, so I was obliging him. Um, but there is I was in a bowling league for a while. Yes, it's Lenny. I'm in a bowling league, I guess. I haven't been for a while, obviously, for obvious reasons, but there is another googly eye bandit in the league who keeps putting googly eyes on people's stuff when they aren't paying attention. And then they'll post like
in the
I was
bowling
gone
ball.
for a minute, I just went to get a drink and came back, and like everything's covered in googly eyes. Like who keeps doing this? And like no one's seeing it, which is hilarious. They're gonna blame me eventually, and I'm like, I'm not driving 20 miles to go put googly eyes and stuff.
No, would you put him on a bowling ball though?
No, because it would fuck up the ball return, right? Something
I
would
was
get
trying to think if
messed
it
up.
would.
I
If
feel
anyone
like it
watching
would.
knows that much about bowling balls and googly eyes, please let us know.
I can ask the people in the league. I'm still in the Facebook group for it. I don't know if I'm going to go back to actually bowling because then it's like, it used to only be 10 miles away, but now it's 20 miles away. And
Oh,
like,
is it a mobile bowling league?
no, they just got
Moving?
tired of the league or the bowling alley that we were at
I didn't know if it
originally.
was a fault line thing. It just because California is like that. The bowling alley's 10
No.
miles away. There's an earthquake, and now it's 20
No,
miles.
there was some kind of drama with the original place, so they went to a different one, but it's farther away and it's expensive anyway. It's like $300 a season, and there's 3 bowling seasons a year. So we're looking at like easily 1,000 if you're spending on all 3 seasons just for bowling plus gas to get there, any food or drinks while you're there. Like it adds up. So maybe one day I'll have a steady enough job where I'm not freelance anymore and can like afford to go throw a bowling ball to loud punk music every week. But right now, like
I do miss bowling now that you mention it.
it's fun.
It is.
I have the bowling ball from Kingpin, like the clear resin ball with like the
No
rose in the
way.
middle.
Rose in it? Yeah.
That was my 10-year anniversary gift from
That's
my
great.
boyfriend.
Oh my god, this is why he's a freaking keeper. That's fantastic. Is it the original
See,
movie prop?
hey, we've been together for like 10 years. Maybe we should like go on a trip. Let's go to Europe and to like London and Paris or something. And he's like, here's a bowling ball.
It's not just any bowling ball though. That's Bill Murray's bowling
It's
ball.
the romantic flower rose bowling ball.
Yeah.
So like that's my
The
anniversary
only
gift.
thing just almost as cool as that is Janine Garofalo's bowling ball in Mystery Men.
What was hers? I just actually watched
It had
that
her
the other
father's
day.
skull. The skull was in it. Her father's skull.
Yes. I think someone in the league has the skull ball. It's been a while.
Now, is yours the actual movie prop?
No.
It's a replica.
Yeah.
Still awesome. Still very cool.
It is, but then there's another guy in the league who had the same rose ball, and his looks nicer than mine. Like mine looks more cloudy.
You're always gonna say that because you're self conscious about your balls.
No, like if mine looked nicer, I'd be like, ha, like my balls look great. But his is like a clearer, like amber colored resin, I guess, and then mine's like kind of sad looking.
Kind of sad looking.
It's cloudy.
Is it in your room right now?
No, it's in the
Oh, okay.
living room closet, I think.
Such a
I haven't
great
used it in a
gift.
couple of years. I mean, you could do like a Homer Simpson and get your wife a bowling ball and then put your
I
name
was thinking
engraved in
that.
it.
I'm gonna look up how much they cost right now. Not that I
That
can
one was
afford.
like 125-ish, I think.
Oh wow.
So it's not that bad.
No.
It's a
Would you actually?
reasonable
You would
price.
actually bowl with that though, right? We're not just
Yeah, I had
for
it
show.
comes as just like a plain ball. You have to get the holes drilled to hit your hand. So it's like a custom fit. So that's not that much. I don't remember how much it was. Maybe $20 or something. I don't know.
That's great.
Yeah, and then you have
I
your
just
own
get all
ball.
of your presents. That's awesome.
You get your own ball. I got shoes on eBay for like $10, $20 maybe. So I have my own shoes. Like I'm ready to go bowling. Everything's closed though.
I never knew you were an avid bowler.
I have a bowling trophy.
Really?
I do.
I was great on the Wii bowling.
And we
We just spoke
does
French.
the Switch have bowling? I don't know. But I do like Ring Fit Adventure.
What's Ring Fit Adventure?
Oh, Jason.
I
I
know
told you
when I
to get
get
it.
back. I
It's
know. I know.
It's fun. I get exercise in by battling cartoon monsters, by like doing squats or whatever to fight them, and like I actually kind of have like muscle now, if I can even
Oh, wait a minute. So you're actually
compared to what it
fighting
used to
monsters to
be.
work out.
Yeah, so you're squeezing the ring to like it sends out like a puff of air on the screen, so you can like break crates with it, and you can like pull it open to like as like a vacuum suction, and then you're jogging in place the whole time, and then you like run into a monster, and you have to fight him in some way.
That's the best way to exercise.
It is like I don't feel like I'm exercising really, like in
No,
adventure mode. Like I'm just running around, jogging in place, like do 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 do.
I
It's
love that.
fun, and then it gives you a rundown at the end. Like here's everything you did, and it's like, oh, I did 120 squats. Like okay, that's cool. Like
I want to thank our sponsor, Ring Fit, for
yes,
supporting us. Merrie, thank you again for being on. Oh,
like
what? Oh, wait, your cat had a great name too, and I can't think of it.
this one is Peggy Bundy Jr.
That's what it was.
and the one in the window is Grandpa. Um,
Grandpa.
but
How old
his
is
full
Grandpa?
name, his full name is Grandpa Belvedere von Hamburglar.
That's it.
And then we have Peggy Bundy Jr. So obviously we're very bored in this apartment on lockdown forever.
Are you vaccinated?
Yes.
It's a
I've
shame.
been fully vaxxed since May 8th, but the lead captain, the bowling league captain, is also fully vaccinated and he caught COVID and was sick for
You
like
can
a
still
week.
get it, but it
Yeah,
won't kill you.
right. But then he's got like a daughter who I think is like 9 or something who can't get vaxxed yet. So
Oh, oh,
that's scary.
yeah. Wow. Way to bring
Hopefully
the
she's
show down.
okay. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
we can make it so much worse if you want to.
I'm sure we can. Oh, we can get dark. We can get really
Yeah,
dark.
we can get real dark.
You know, there could be a comet that could hit us at any time, wipe out all of civilization as we know it.
Right. Well, I've been playing this beach survival game. So,
Beach
like,
survival.
it's called Stranded Deep, the,
Oh,
the
the
desert
stranded.
island game.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm looking at all these palm trees and stuff. When I actually do go out into the world, I'm like, I can make a tent with you. Like, like planning out, like,
I
I'm going
can
to
make
knock
a
down that
tent with you.
tree. I'm going to get some sticks out of that tree so I
This
can
game
build
is
a
teaching me life
thing.
skills. I would be terrible in a post-apocalyptic world,
Oh, I
though.
would probably die immediately in real
Yeah,
life.
I mean, I can't put a minnow on a hook. I can't kill. I would just somebody say, "There's a deer, kill it. We got to eat it." I can't look at it.
I don't eat meat anyway, so I'd be like, I'm not eating that. That's all you, dude. Like, you kill a deer. I'm not doing it. Want nothing to do with killing. I feel bad killing virtual crabs on a video game where I'm like carving it open, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
I'm
need
with
to
you. I
eat.
understand.
But my character's healthy and happy.
As long as
So,
your character is healthy and happy,
right,
that's
she's
all that
doing
matters
good.
in life. How's your emoji? She's healthy and happy.
How is your video game character doing? Are they okay? Like, yes, she's great. She is
Good.
loving the island life all by herself.
Do you
Actually, there's
talk
a
to her?
no, but the island I was like, this is the one to be on. Actually has a skeleton somewhere on it. So I'm like, I hit it. I put like palm fronds on top. I'm like, let's just tuck that in a little bit. Like, no one needs to see that. That's gross. I'm gonna take all his stuff, but I'm gonna like make it look a little nicer over here and not just a
That's
skeleton of a dead man who starved to death, most likely.
I could keep talking, but I
I
have to.
could.
I
But
know.
it's late for you. We have a 3 hour time difference. So
I
for
know.
me, it's about 7, but for you, it's like 10
I have to
p.m.
be up at 6.
Ew, go to bed, Jason.
Thank you, Merrie. Thank everybody. Merrie Swain. It's so nice to be in front of a studio audience again to do this show.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I got my own audience with my cats. I don't know where the girl cat just went. She's not on the floor anymore.
Where did
She'll show
Peggy
up.
go?
I
Peggy,
don't know.
get back.
What was that?
I hit the slap button.
Oh no, I don't know where she went. She couldn't have gone far. She'll be okay.
All right, good.
Yes.
Merrie, I've said goodbye to you a lot,
Go
but it
to
was so
bed.
nice. You were my favorite convention friend.
Oh, thank you.
We'll have to talk about that next time.
About throwing the shower caps out the window, or just like
Our
the
convention memory, general
convention
convention story.
shenanigans. Yeah.
Yes, the shenanigans at the con.
We have a lot, and I was drinking a lot, so I made sure there's a lot of shenanigans happening at that time. I think I'd be
You know,
boring now.
um,
What's up?
um, there's a living thing on my keyboard, and it's not a cat.
Ew.
You're not supposed to be in here.
What is
It's an ant. Why is there an
Ew.
ant here?
Blow on it.
He heard me saying, "Oh, this guy won't kill me." Dead. Dead. You're an ant. You don't. I'm so sorry. I don't know who that man was. He's gone now. Serenity now.
Go to bed.
Thanks, Merrie.
Thank you. I will talk to you soon.
Yes, you will. I appreciate.
I'll at the very least send you more googly eye photos.
Please do. Those were fantastic.
Well, I'm dog walking all next week as well, so I've got many days to Google eye the apartment.
Who's walking the dog in the morning?
Probably her dad, and then he's
okay.
at work in the office during the day.
You're not the only one who's walking the dog.
No, that dog probably gets walked like 4 times a day.
All right, good. Just make.
We just don't want it to poop in the apartment or in the condo.
No, we don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Put googly eyes on the butt above the tail, so.
The kitten's getting googly eyed next.
Oh no.
He's real cute, but he needs another set of eyeballs. Like maybe like 3 rows.
I could see a sci-fi movie happening here where you put so many googly eyes on things, you're actually giving them vision. You're bringing light.
Well, that's what I was hoping for with the robot vacuum, because he keeps running into stuff where he's like, oh no, like there's an obstacle in my way. And it's like, you're in the middle of the room. There's nothing near you within 3 feet. Fucking Lenny, you know?
Fucking Lenny.
He's so dramatic.
I know. All right, Merrie. It was great seeing you again.
It was good seeing you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. All right. Bye.